Hi, this is Eslin. Welcome back, fishies. And once again, it's March, so I want to wish every fishy out there in March a happy birthday. We're just celebrating with the good old H2O, but it doesn't make any difference what you're celebrating with. Nice and cold like I like it. Happy birthday and drink up. Now today, I'm going to be doing some heating up, and I didn't set the timer, but I'm going to be taking the lamb out. I had smoked some lamb. Remember when it was back in the fall, I had smoked it, and I was heating it up. But I have to heat it up. I heated the lamb up before I put put my asparagus in there, only because the asparagus doesn't take that long to heat up. So what I'm going to do with my asparagus, I have here, I cleaned it and dried it already. I'm going to put it on this end of the board of my tray here, and normally what I was going to do was wrap it in baking grease. I was going to wrap it in bacon, but I had the thick cut bacon. See, this is the thick cut bacon, so it was too thick for my little asparagus. So what I'm going to do is I save some of the bacon grease, and I'm just going to toss the asparagus in a little bit of this bacon grease, and that way it'll get the flavor of being like wrapped up in it. I usually use the thin bacon for thin cut bacon when I'm doing wrapping like vegetables, asparagus, or anything like that, or shrimp, or scallops, or anything like that. I usually use a thin cut bacon. The thick cut, overcooks it, and this little asparagus would have been overcooked. I rinsed this off of my fingers right quick. Okay, and now I'm just going to put just a teensy bit of just cayenne pepper. You guys can see that? Just a little, just a hair. Not much at all. That's about enough right there. I'm not going to add any salt yet, only because the bacon grease spice is a little salty, but I am going to add some crushed black pepper. I am going to do that. Now, as you know, asparagus doesn't take long to cook. Now, let me set this out of the way, I don't need it. I had the butternut squash, and I made a puree out of it. Okay, what I did was, I put it in a food processor, and I added maybe a half a cup of heavy cream, and maybe 5 tablespoons of butter. Now I'm going to set this back in the oven, and I'm going to set the timer, only because I don't want my asparagus to overcook. And I'm just going to heat the squash up for plating. And, first of all, another thing I forgot. I wanted to turn this lamb over. And I wanted to add a little bit of barbecue sauce to this side. Like I said, I smoked this, I think it was back in maybe October. Right before it got cold, I smoked a bunch of meat. And, so that is why I haven't had to cook any, because I smoked a lot of it. And I'm going to sit this in here, and we're going to check it in we'll set it for 5 minutes, because, like I said, that asparagus is really thin. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I don't think I'm going to need the barbecue sauce either. I'm going to set that aside also. Okay, what I have here is some feta cheese. This is just a regular feta. And then I have some bacon bits. I showed you earlier, but this is the thick cut bacon. The thin cut bacon is better for cooking with, because, like I said, the thick cut, it takes it so long to cook. So whatever you wrapped it in will be more than likely overcooked by the time that the bacon is done. And I was saying before, what I did was I took I had the butternut squash. Remember when I had it before? It was in those chunks like sweet potatoes. And see, I just put it in here, and I just added, like I said, a half a cup maybe heavy cream, and maybe 5 to 6 tablespoons of butter. Put it in here, and it came out to this nice puree. That tastes so good. It tastes just like sweet potatoes. just like sweet potatoes. I'm going to sit this back over here. And how are you guys doing today? Is everybody doing okay? How's the weather? Is anybody getting that fluffy stuff? It's still 70 degrees here. And this is what? March. But you know what? Still, this is the time of year where we get all the fluffy stuff. And it's usually cold and nasty. But Estlin is not complaining. This has been a blessed winter. And let me tell you, we haven't had that much bad weather at all. I think maybe, 1-2 days of snow? Oh, I said the S word, wow. But it really wasn't that many days. It was like really nothing. I'm just going to look in here really quick. And I think I'm going to expand it. I'm going to add just another 5 minutes on here. Because I took a look in there. And it's not, I don't think that the asparagus is done yet. But I do not like overcooked asparagus. That is one thing that I don't like, is overcooked vegetables. And I have some grape tomatoes. And I just had a good thought. I just had a really good thought what I could do to brighten up that plate a little bit and add a little bit of freshness. I'm going to rinse them off. See, I rinsed off a couple of the cherry tomatoes. And I'm just going to throw them on here. Oh yeah, that asparagus is almost done. I'm just going to throw those tomatoes on there. Roll it around where the asparagus is at. And you know what? In a few more minutes, that's all going to be ready. I'm going to get a plate. I'm going to use a white plate today. I'm going to use a white plate because of the colors that I'm using in the meal. I'm using green, orange, and red. So that will pop really nice on this white plate. And like I said, I'm going to use the feta cheese. I don't know where I saw that, but I also think that I'm going to put some balsamic vinegar on it. Okay, just a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Here's my balsamic vinegar. Just going to sprinkle. I'm just going to put just a little bit over my asparagus when I pull it out. This is really good. I usually make a sauce for my barbecue with this. I'll take the either the aged balsamic or the regular balsamic and whatever berry juice. Usually I like blackberry juice. I'll take it and reduce it down like a little bit. Then over my barbecue, my steaks or whatever, I'll just drizzle it over the top, or pork. Oh, it is delicious. Let me tell you, it is really delicious. Now, this is coming to an end on there. You can see this time is winding down. I don't want to get my asparagus overcooked. I do not like overcooked vegetables. I know I extended the time, but my asparagus is real thin. Okay, yeah, my asparagus is thin. Now, can you guys see that? See that? But see how thin that asparagus is? That's ready. You know, Estlin doesn't want to overcook those vegetables. That asparagus. Oh, it is awful. So now I can turn the timer off. Okay, now I'm about ready to plate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some of my puree, which is nice and warm now. It really was kind of warm, so in the blender from when I heated it up and made the pureed potatoes. Butternut squash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, and you know how they do that? They make that swoosh. Yeah. Put a little more here and make that swoosh. Yeah. And what I'm going to do, okay, now what I did was I wrapped my bones in foil so they wouldn't burn. Now, why take all of that time, to French the bones out and then burn them? I said a lot of people do that. Now, I'm just going to slice this so I can plate it. I put an extra bone in there, you guys, so I could taste it without messing up my plating. Yep, that's why that lone fella's sitting there. Look like a man down, but it's not. I'm just going to cut this so I can plate it, make it look nice. Now, I personally like my lamb a little bit duller than everybody else, but I'm telling you, it looks so good. For some reason, I don't want to cut this aluminum foil, but I don't know why. It's done heating up. Okay, now, I'm going to take my lamb there. You see that? Oh, it's nice, isn't it? I'm going to take that, and I'm going to plate it right like that. And that gives it a little bit of height. They won't stick up, but I'm trying to give it a little bit of height. Stick it up like that. My bones won't stay, huh? That's okay. We'll do it just like that. Then I'm going to take my asparagus, move this up on the puree a little more. Take my asparagus, put it here. Oh, not in the puree, just around it like that. Try to work on my plating a little bit, guys. Okay. My asparagus here. It's coming along pretty good. Now these are just warm, which is nice. It'll just give you a little bit of freshness on the plate. The freshness from the heaviness of the lamb and the puree. So I'm going to do this here. Okay, now let me rinse my fingers off, and then I'm going to have to wipe my plate off so it'll look nice. This is one of the nicer platings that I have done. Okay, now we're just going to wipe this all off. Get off all this little stuff like that. Clean this up a bit. Sauce is good. Okay. Looks pretty good. And I'm just going to take just a little drizzle of the balsamic. Just a little. I don't want it to come out too fast like it did. So it came out too fast, but you know what I'm going to do? Watch this. I'm just going to roll it around. And then clean this up. Oh, it smells so good. That balsamic added like a little extra depth of flavor in there. I just can't get this spot clean. That balsamic, I can smell it. It smells so good. Oh, doesn't that look nice for once? Doesn't that look really nice? Okay, we have the lamb, which is teriyaki and barbecue. Then we have, the orange is the butternut squash puree. And then we have our asparagus with some roasted tomatoes. Okay, now what we're going to do here is I'm going to try the asparagus. You hear that? That means it has a snap. It's not overcooked. I forgot my bacon and my feta, which is probably going to improve this a little bit even more. See, that's that part-timers I got, you guys. But I'll get it together. That's that part-timers. Oh, yeah, now this plating looks a lot better now. Yes, it does. It looks a lot better. Wash my fingers from the feta. Push that there. Okay, now there's the finished product. How do you like that? Okay, I tasted the asparagus. It's really good. I'm going to eat one of these cherry tomatoes, which I know is good. It's really nice. It's just warm on the inside. It's not hot. And it just gives you a burst of freshness. A little burst of freshness. Now, I put an extra piece of lamb so I wouldn't mess up my plating. That is so good. And look how that made it. It's still juicy. Look at that. That is delicious. A lollipop. That is really, really good. And it's real tender. You don't have to take your teeth out to bite it. And like I said before, I tasted the puree, but I'm going to taste it again. I'm not going to mess up my plating. That puree tastes exactly like sweet potatoes. And it's butternut squash. I am telling you, this is going to be absolutely delicious when I sit down to enjoy it. If you like what you see, thumbs up. If you want more, hit the dinner bell. Comments and suggestions are always welcome. Subscribing is free and sharing is nice. And I'd like everybody out there to stay safe and positive and stay tuned to Let's Try This, because you never know what Miss Eslin is going to try next. You enjoy the night.